Blackstone Audio presents Alexander the Great, The Hunt for a New Past, by Paul Cartledge. To Judith Portrait, yet again. Preface. There is really no need for any special justification, let alone apology, for a new history of Alexander. He is one of those very few genuinely iconic figures who have both remade the world they knew and constantly inspire us to remake our own worlds, both personal and more global. What is needed then, and I have aimed to provide, is a book that does full justice to Alexander's extraordinary achievement, while at the same time respecting the limits of the evidence and of the historian's craft. I have attempted to address that achievement both in its own terms, including some tentative probing into Alexander's deep psyche, and in terms of its subsequent impact, which continues to this day, when Alexander is still prayed in aid by fishermen in Greece, cursed as a thief in Iran, and worshipped as a saint in the Coptic Church of Egypt. It must also be a book with a distinctive interpretative approach, and mine is indicated in the book's subtitle, The Hunt for a New Past. There are, of course, several possible keys to unlocking the enigma that was Alexander. Some modern historians, for example, have focused on the Greek word pothos, passionate yearning, which is associated in the sources with major projects of Alexander. Others have privileged Alexander's relationship with his father, Philip. One modern historian has tried to explain vital features of his career in terms of his alcohol dependency. My book will not minimize the influence of these factors on Alexander's outlook, personality, and aims, but it will lay even more stress on his predilection, or rather grand passion, for hunting game, human as well as animal, and the bigger, more numerous, and more dangerous the better, for that offered him a greater chance for enhancing his standing and his fame. One of the very earliest probable images of Alexander is painted in a fresco above the front entrance to what most of us refer to conventionally as the tomb of Philip, whether or not we actually believe it to be the tomb of Alexander's father, as I on the whole do. This monumental edifice was erected at the ancient Macedonian ceremonial capital of Aegae, modern Virginia, at some point in the last third or so of the 4th century BCE. The fresco depicts a series of hunting scenes, so that, if it does indeed feature Alexander centrally, it shows him engaged in what we know to have been one of his favourite pastimes, except that pastime may give a misleading impression, since hunting in Macedon, as in some other ancient societies such as Sparta, was a culturally coded marker of social and political status and prestige. In Macedon, you did not become fully a man until you had passed the key manhood test of hunting and killing, without a net, one of the ferocious wild boar that roamed the heights of upper, western Macedonia. Only then could you recline, as opposed to sit, when participating in the daily ritual of the symposium, the evening drinking party, at which and through which the Macedonian elite celebrated together and mutually confirmed their elevated social and political status. Another kind of hunting, the killing of an enemy in battle, entitled a Macedonian to wear a special belt as a visual signal and reminder of his attainment and prestige. After the 2 introductory chapters, I have aimed to combine sequential chronological narration with in-depth systematic surveys of a number of key themes of Alexander's career. All dates are BCE, before the Common Era, unless otherwise specified. The concluding chapter explores Alexander's multiple legacies, from antiquity through the Middle Ages to the present day. An appendix explores the limits set by the available source materials to any attempted reconstruction of how it actually was in Alexander's day. The conclusions reached here condition and inform everything I write in the main body of the book, which ideally should be read in that light. The appendix also explores in greater detail than usual 2 vital questions. First, how precisely did Callisthenes, Alexander's official historian, die in 327? And second, what did really happen at the oracle at Siwa in 332 to 331? The contemporary narrative sources, as ever, do not survive as such, and the available reports of at least the main authors all tell different stories. This really does matter, because these were